This image of a fighter getting his shit smashed out of him despite already being unconscious is one of the most brutal aspects of this sport. But following his win over Travis Browne, Derrick Lewis showed no remorse. On the contrary, if it was up to him, he'd probably still be pounding Travis' lifeless body. And he even went as far as to thank Mario Yamasaki for the late stoppage, which in his mind was some well-deserved righteous retribution for Travis Browne.
No, I appreciate it. Shit, well, yeah, I give him $1,000. I appreciate it for letting the fight go a little longer than what it was, because I just wanted to get all my anger out on Travis' face anyway, because he liked to hit on women. So I appreciate him for doing that.
Now, no domestic abuse charges were ever actually pressed against Travis. The accusations appear to be the psychotic shit-flinging of a bitter ex-girlfriend. But the mere allegation was enough to boil the Black Beast's blood. And the reasons for that are embedded in a dark and turbulent childhood. Not only did Lewis not have a father figure growing up, but tragically, a violent, unpredictable sociopath stepped in to fill that void. Derrick grew up in Louisiana, where from 8 years old, he watched on helplessly as his stepdad battered his mom on an almost daily basis. This is about my whole childhood life, watching my mom getting beat up by my stepdad. And so me fighting a guy like this, that can be my motivation too. Me growing up not being able to do anything, feeling helpless, trying to fight off my stepdad with my mom. It was really scary. I was scared all the time.
Back then, I just used to just try to like pull my mom or pull him off my mom and just like cry and stuff like that. Then, like whenever I was 13, then I just started like just swinging on him whenever he started attacking my mom.
The idea of an 8-year-old boy trying to wrestle a grown-ass man off his mom, that is some heartbreaking shit. And it persisted on a regular basis throughout his childhood, until eventually, in order to escape that nightmare, his family fled to Houston. But while the violence in his home may have subsided, he was now experiencing the brutality of the street.
We moved to Houston from New Orleans, and I had my first fight whenever I got off the bus. It was like, ever since that first fight, it seemed like I was fighting every other week. Guys used to come to my house and try to get me to fight.
Guys showing up at your house, fighting every week. Jesus Christ. Talk about the complete normalization of violence. In the home, on the streets, and now knocking on his fucking door. You know, this type of childhood, it doesn't tend to foster the Mike Zuckerbergs of the world. How you gonna worry about Pythagoras theorems when your mom and stepdad are going at it like fucking Itchy and Scratchy? There's a bunch of drooling, bloodthirsty delinquents showing up at your door wanting to fight your fucking ass in the street. That type of chaotic domestic abuse and brutal ghetto Darwinism is associated with behavioral problems, substance abuse, anger issues, poor impulse control, and juvenile delinquency. You throw poverty into the mix, and it's basically a perfect recipe for crime and punishment. And unfortunately, that is the next chapter of Derrick's story. When he was 19, Lewis got involved with an older lady. He found himself a lovely little cougar to fool around with. But when her ex-husband found out, he wasn't too happy about it. And he decided it would be a good idea to drive around looking for Derrick with a fucking shotgun. I got out of the car and I walked up to his truck. And I asked him why he was following me. He reached over to the passenger side seat, tried to grab his shotgun. I didn't give him the opportunity. I just started sticking it to him right there. His car was in neutral and he was rolling, about to hit another car, so I stopped hitting him. He took off and we chased him to the police station. About 4 days later, they're arresting me at school. You ever hear that expression, don't bring a knife to a gunfight? This guy brought a gun to a fist fight and still got his fucking ass whooped. I mean, what would it have taken for him to beat Derrick? An Apache helicopter? If he had nuclear weapons, maybe. The guy ended up losing the sight in one of his eyes, so you could say Derrick literally beat him senseless. In 2017, he might have got a knockout of the night bonus. But in 2004, he got 5 fucking years, serving 3.5 after a probation violation. At this point, you got a young black kid coming from utter dysfunction, juvenile delinquency, and the brutality of the streets, with no guidance or role models. I think I've heard this story before. Guy goes to prison on a probation violation and comes out as a budding career criminal. But surprisingly, he recounts in his sentence as a critical turning point in his life and an unlikely blessing in disguise. I really do believe it helped me, because I didn't have a father figure growing up. There was nothing positive about my childhood. So I believe prison was the best thing that could have happened. My mind is more clear. I see everything more clear. I understand a lot more. That's the reason I want my own kids to have a better childhood. So not only did prison straighten him out, but it gave him time to reflect on the forces that led him down the dark path to misery in the first place. It gave him some much-needed perspective. And upon his release, he began to change the trajectory of his life. Derrick initially worked as a tow truck driver, boxing on his side. But things finally started to look up when he got noticed by heavyweight boxing legend George Foreman, who recognized Lewis' talent and took him under his wing. He even gave Derrick a Buick and was looking to fix him up with a fancy high-rise apartment in downtown Houston. But Derrick had been introduced to MMA by a friend, and after smashing the fuck out of Nick Mitchell in his debut, he fell in love with this sport, decided MMA was his best route out of hardship, and he parted ways with George Foreman. That turned out to be a good decision. Over the next 4 years, Derrick went 9-2, including 8 knockouts. He won the Legacy Heavyweight belt and defended it once before getting picked up by the UFC, something he had been dreaming about since his time in prison. But Derrick has always seemed like an unusual addition to the heavyweight division. He can at times appear to lack any great aspirations.
I kind of feel like you should get a title shot. What do you think?
Yeah, I could go ahead and get it, but if not, I'm not worried about it because I'm happy of the money that I'm making right now.
You really don't care about this belt. I keep asking you about it, and you're very dismissive of it.
Yeah, I don't care about it. As long as I'm making money, that's all I'm caring about. If they're going to give me renegotiate my contract again to fight for the belt, yeah, I'll fight for the belt. But other than that, I'm not really worried about it. I'm just keep fighting, try to stay active as possible. You know, once you have the belt, you want to be as active,
Sure.
I guess.
But
I'll fight once a year. I don't like fighting once a year. I like fight every other month.
I used to think Derrick was unambitious or lacked the mentality of a champion. But for a man who was given very little in life, had virtually no support, and had to fight tooth and nail to smash his way out of poverty, I think he recognizes that the only thing keeping him from returning to dysfunction and taking his family with him is his fucking fists. Derrick has more immediate and practical goals than abstractions like rankings or belts. I'm trying to take care of my family. That's the reason I'm doing this. The rankings and the position I'm in and all that really don't matter. I'm not really trying to be the best fighter out there. Whenever I'm gone, they'll know that Dad did all he can for the family. And hopefully, I'm a positive role model in their life. And they can see that no matter what you go through, there is always something you can do to better yourself. Now, I'm not trying to congratulate anyone for not beating the fuck out of their wife. But here's an excerpt from UNICEF. The single best predictor of children becoming either perpetrators or victims of domestic violence later in life is whether or not they grow up in a home where there is domestic violence. Studies from various countries support the findings that rates of abuse are higher among women whose husbands were abused as children or who saw their mothers being abused. Well, not only did Lewis see his mother being abused, but it was on a daily basis. His earliest grappling experience was trying to wrestle his stepdad off his mom. So judging by his utter contempt for Travis Brown and his determination to provide a stable environment for his own kids, it appears Derrick has broken what could have very easily been a vicious, destructive cycle of violence and victimization. Enough is enough here. All that nasty-ass bullshit he witnessed growing up ends with the Black Beast. In the game of life, Derrick Lewis got dealt one shitty hand after another. But along the way, he started figuring things out for himself, transforming his life, taking care of his family, and trying to be the father he never had. So whether or not there's a belt in his future, Derrick is already a success in many ways. He's beaten some incredible odds, dealt with some brutal, heartbreaking shit, rejected the violence of his childhood, and ultimately dragged his own ass up by his fucking bootstraps.